G'day, mate. Welcome to the Life and a Bookshelf podcast with Beck Mills. This is the place to hang out if you are a lover of conversation, connection, random musings, all about life after 30 years of age, including motherhood, books, reading, learning, growing. If you are into personal development, and also making a really positive impact in your own life, the people around you, and also your wider community, then you are in absolutely the right spot. I hope you enjoy today's episode. G'day, welcome in. Today I want to share with you something that I'm working through at the moment, and I love the idea of this, but actually doing it and sitting down and doing it does take me a while to get around to. And I don't know if I try and put it off, or I'm feeling a bit triggered by it, or whatever it is. But whenever I do it, it feels really, really good. And that is reviewing the year that's been. And I've just started doing this along with the help of a workbook, which is absolutely brilliant. It's by Leonie Dawson. It's called My Brilliant Year Life Goals Workbook. And she also has a business one as well. And I just love the way it's set out, and it just makes me feel good while I'm doing it. It's not just like a random bunch of boring questions. And anyway, I just want to touch on today, go into a little bit deeper. One thing that I'm really letting go of from 2023, but to be quite honest, it's not just 2023. I feel like I've been trying to let this go for a long time, maybe at the end of each year for the last 5 years. But hey, we're all a work in progress. Some things come easier, some things don't. But the thing I want to let go of is the all or nothing, that all or nothing mentality, attitude, I guess, mindset, if you will. And I would love to hear if this is something that maybe you find yourself in as well sometimes, is the all or nothing. And, whether it literally could be any area of your life. And it probably, if you're anything like me, it shows up in lots of different areas of life. I get super excited about something, I get super pumped about something, get an idea, gung-ho, it's all in. It's all in, I'm doing it. But for some reason, if I fall off the bandwagon, if something, I guess, unexpected happens while I'm doing it, something interrupts the routine of doing it, I find myself falling off the bandwagon, slowly getting pulled along, but finding that I'm not real motivated anymore, and finding it tricky to really get back on the horse and keep progressing. So I'm sure I'm not the only one. I just want to talk a little bit about this today because I really want to let this one go from 2023 and a lot further back probably, and really start 2024 with a fresher perspective on lots of different areas of life. And I just read something as well. I don't even know where it was. Probably you've heard me say this a bit. I've seen something, I've read something somewhere, and it's just like it's evoked a feeling, or it's triggered something, and it's reminded me of something. And it was the old progress over perfection. And I think in a way it's so cliched. I see it a lot. I would love to hear if you do as well. Like the whole progress over perfection. Yay, get back on the horse. Don't worry about what's happened. And sometimes, yeah, okay, it's inspirational, but other times I'm just like, I've been working at this thing for so long. I want to see some progress. I don't know. Maybe that's me. But I do have some perfectionist tendencies for sure. If you've listened to some previous episodes, particularly the first couple, I was blown a little bit about that with the starting of the podcast and the launching of the podcast and actually hitting publish, getting it out there. But so, like whether it was I did a couple of running challenges this year, like whether it was that and some setbacks with that running. In my netball, I love my netball and do that for 6 months of the year. And I just love continuously improving, and I love lifelong learning. So as much as I can learn and implement as possible in things that I'm really, really interested in. And I think that's all of us, right? And, whether it was those things or, even this 30-day writing challenge that I'm doing at the moment, I've found myself kind of falling into that, I haven't written anything, or maybe I just won't do the challenge anymore, instead of just missing a day and like starting it up again. I just see it coming in already. Anyway, but I think that progress over perfection, even though it's so cliched and we hear it so much, I just want to dive a little into that because setbacks in our progress, like, this is where the all or nothing thing comes in, because I could see a setback and I'd be like, oh, this means I'm not going to be able to do X, Y, Z. Maybe I'm not only going to be able to run 2 times this week when I thought I was going to be able to run 4 times. Maybe I just won't run. So something comes up, the change of routine, whatever it is. But setbacks in progress, if we flip it, I was thinking about this today, if we flip it and could that setback actually be the thing that strengthens our progress? Instead of looking at it like a setback, like a failure, like a pause, or like that's the falling off the wagon, what if we see it like a strengthening of our progress? Like thinking about them as in the eyes of from the perspective of the actual comeback from that setback, if we flip it. I don't know if that makes sense. It's just what's falling out of my mouth at the moment, but thinking about how we bounce back and how we come back from any sort of setbacks, that's incredibly strengthening to progress in a way, because we learn something new about ourselves each time. We learn new ways to do things. I believe we become more flexible and also more resilient to things that are going on around us. We become more adaptive. And I was just like, yeah, that's so cool. Let's start seeing it as these are the things that actually strengthen our progress. And like thinking with this podcast, I remember yesterday I was a bit like, oh, what am I going to do? Like I was like, yeah, I got the writing challenge. I'm going to do those for my podcast apps. And then I was like, I feel like there's so much going on at the moment, but it's all boring stuff and nobody wants to know about it, and blah, 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 down the rabbit hole of my brain. And then I was like, well, why don't you just talk about what you're actually thinking about? So, and I think that's really going to help in the long run, just to get on here, talk through it, talk it out, talk with you. I love connecting with you guys on here and over on Instagram. It's been really fun. And I would love to hear your thoughts on the whole all or nothing thing, and has it affected you this year or ever? Is it something that you want to let go of and move past? And the other thing I was thinking about is like the whole being a beginner thing. Like we hear that so much, and I've already talked about it on this podcast. It's becoming a theme. Being a beginner, I think, ties in a lot with that progress over perfection and recognizing our progress. That, like, where do we start from? Maybe you are learning hip hop. I don't know. You're dancing, and you get to the class and you're standing there and you're like, what am I doing? You're looking at everyone around you who knows the moves, has obviously been before, and you're just like, why am I putting myself in this situation? And I think the more that we start putting ourselves in that situation, especially now, we've had some life experience, if you're like me and you are past your 30th year and well into your 30s, you know, we've had some life experience and we've seen some stuff, we've done some stuff, we've been through a lot. And if we can allow ourselves to be a beginner at stuff, at new things, so powerful. And really see any, like, really focus on that progress. And if there's any sort of setbacks, focusing on them as strengthening your progress, I think we end up trying a lot of new things, trying things that we have always wanted to try. But we felt like, what are people going to think of me? This is me talking to myself, my brain. What are people going to think of me? They're going to think I'm like a child because I want to try or whatever it is. And I just feel like if we could be a beginner at more things. And this reminds me, I was like, I'm like, this 30-day writing challenge is really like challenging in a lot of ways, but it's been really fun in other ways. And I've learnt a lot about already what I like writing about. It's only been a few days. And I was like, maybe I could do a 30-day challenge every year in 2024. And I was like, hold up there, girlfriend. Hold up there, girlfriend. This is what I mean about finding something really exciting, an idea, and just going all in, gung-ho, all guns blazing, as they say. And I was like, yeah, 30-day challenge every month. Like, try something new. I want to, like, try some different creative things. And I was like, yep, jumped on Google. I want to do a 30-day challenge for every day of the year. And I got pages and pages of ideas for 30-day challenges in every area of your life that you could think of. And I was like, sweet, I just need to pick 12. And here I go. And I'm like, okay, is this going to be helpful to the all or nothing thing? Or could this be exactly the type of thing? And I think it is hard to tell sometimes because I'm like, well, that can only improve. Like, I love learning new things. I'm a lifelong learner. But is it going to be helpful in, like, if I start something and then I'm just going to get super down because I didn't keep going with it or whatever, or change my mind, which happens a lot. And I was like, maybe I'll just pick 6. Why don't I just pick 6 30-day challenges and just, like, I don't know, have them up on a Post-it note in my office or something like that just to remind me. And then if something takes my fancy one month, I might just try it. And I was like, yeah, that's a better idea. That's a better idea because every year I'm like, August, September, every single year are like insane. And so much going on in every area of life. And then December, obviously, is busy as well for most of us. And they're probably like the 2 most hectic times a year. And I'm like, yeah, not in those months. Anything extra. And yeah, already thinking, I'm like, okay, 6. Yeah, I might write down 6. I'll just have a look through and just see what takes my fancy. And then, you know what? If I end up doing more than that, then hey. And if I end up doing less, I'm not going to beat myself up about it because I know my personality and I know I'm going to find new and interesting things to learn more about. And that may not take the shape of a 30-day challenge. It might not even be a 7-day challenge. It could be a book that I want to read or whatever. A podcast that I want to listen to, whatever. So, like, that's just a really quick example. And I hope that maybe you can relate. Maybe there's something, whether it's a mindset or that kind of that all or nothing thing that you've seen popping up in your life. I know I've been a bit like that with food in the past as well. Just different things like cutting out sugar completely. Lots of different things. But yeah, so I want to let go of that and move more into that progress and being a beginner and really celebrating any sort of setbacks. Celebrating the comebacks. Yeah, because that's strengthening progress. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. A bit of a random thought train processing the year that's been. But I really look forward to seeing you on the next one. Just to give you a bit of idea what's coming up, I'm going to sprinkle in more episodes of the writing challenge, what I've been writing, just as a bit of an accountability, and also to share with you just what I've been writing. And like I said, I was starting my review of this year, like what's been happening, what went great, what I didn't think went super great, and what I want to let go of and bring in more in 2024. So when I get through that, I'll share a bit more about that. Goal setting is really one of my loves in life, so I'd love to talk a bit more about that, especially coming up to the new year. There's a lot of pressure around that kind of thing. We've also got some book reviews coming up as well, so keep an eye out for those. Can't wait to share those with you. And obviously it's nearly Christmas. If you celebrate Christmas, we're almost there. And 6 more sleeps, Mum. 6 more sleeps. Elfie said it was only 6 more sleeps. Yes, Elfie did say that. So yes, getting very close. We are going away for a little bit. But I hope to still pop on, even like you've probably noticed if you've listened to a few, that short and sweet some days, 5 minutes. And I'm not beating myself up for that. When I first, quick side little tangent. Oh my gosh, I'm just going to have a drink of tea. My throat's really dry. It's so windy here. My hay fever's just gone crazy today in the heat and the wind. What was my side tangent? Oh gosh, I'm going to forget it. Yep, I think it's gone. Side tangent is gone. What did I say? We're going away for a few days. Oh yeah, but I hope to pop in. Not beating myself up. That's it. So when I first, my dog, second side tangent in a minute, my dog just jumped up. He was asleep. He's like, what? Yes. So, not beating myself up about the 5 minute thing. Like the first couple of times I tried to launch a podcast and I was like, it's gotta be half an hour for an episode. And at the time I was doing live video as well, and they had to be that long to be able to get the audience results and blah, 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 blah. But I'm just letting it come out as it comes out. And this has actually been quite long. So this is me signing off. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining. I love connecting with you here. And hey, if you want to be the first to know when a new episode drops, just jump on my newsletter list. The details and link is below in the show notes for you. I hope you have a wonderful day. You absolutely deserve it. Until next time. See ya.